What is up, guys? Welcome to ThoughtCast. My name is Sumedh, and today we're going to be talking about haters. Haters. We all have them, right? There's always that one person in your life that doesn't like you for whatever reason. They just hate on you for you being you. No matter how much good you do, no matter how much whatever you do, they're just going to hate on you. And that is what it is sometimes in life. And I'm going to teach you guys today how to deal with haters, how to handle the hate, and what that hate really means. First and foremost, why do people even hate? Like, what is the cause of people hating? Like, a lot of times in life, when you're actually improving and getting better, people will hate on you. And that's really weird. It seems counterintuitive because wouldn't someone be more appreciative and like you more if you're getting better in life? No, it actually isn't. Because when someone sees you getting better, when someone sees you elevating, when someone sees you growing, it stabs of their lack of, success. It stabs at their lack of growth. When someone sees you elevating in front of them, they're basically inferior to you. If you see someone getting a higher test grade than you on a consistent basis, then you basically understand that you're not as intelligent as this person, or maybe you're not putting enough time into studying the material, or maybe they just have a natural acquisition of the material that's better than yours. Whatever it might be, they're doing better than you. And so there's two options that come here. Number one, you can either feel inferior but appreciate their success and let it motivate you, or you can feel inferior and let the brain rationalize hating. And what is naturally easier to do? The brain wants you to feel comfortable. The brain wants you to avoid pleasure. So naturally, what the brain is going to try to do, it's going to cause you to hate. And you might think, isn't that really not efficient? Well, it actually is. For a lot of people, people find it easier to rationalize to hate instead of the hard reality of self-reflection and disappointment, right? So you understand that it's very evident in a lot of examples in the real world. So one of the biggest examples that you can see out there is when people win the lottery, right? When people win the lottery, they experience a high level of financial growth. And if you look at surveys, if you look at statistics, the number one area that people attribute to success is financial growth, right? Most people think that being successful is actually being really rich. That is not entirely the case. It's not the truth. But most people think like that. If someone is very wealthy or rich, they think, this person must be successful. Because in order to attract that level of income, that level of wealth, you need to be successful in certain aspects. So there is a generalistic principle that this is true, but in a lot of senses, it's not the entire story. People can be successful if they don't have all the money in the world. Success is defined differently by different people. But to get to the point, when people win the lottery, they encounter a lot of perceived success. And so what you end up seeing is that these people, their close friends and family, start to resent them for their immense amount of success, for their immense amount of gain. They didn't work for it. They got lucky, XYZ. They shouldn't have gotten it. They got millions of dollars. Where's my millions of dollars? I've been in his life all this time. You get haters that just crawl out from everywhere. And what you'll see is that lottery winners don't sustain their money, because they don't have the level of self-growth, and they haven't cultivated the level of self-growth and discipline to even maintain and retain that amount of income, that level of perceived success. So that mismatch is extremely dangerous. And what you see, it's crazy. Lottery winners, 70% of them end up broke within the first 7 years. Many of them end up being depressed, and a lot of them end up committing suicide. It's a very tragic thing. If you look at the statements of lottery winners, sometimes they'll say, I wish I ripped up the ticket. That was the worst thing that ever happened to me. A lot of their families go through drug problems and a lot of crazy stuff because that opulence, that injection of a high level of wealth and success that is not necessarily deserved, is very dangerous. What I'm trying to say here is that hate starts to destroy everything that they live for and that they built in their life. And the sad reality is we live in a generation that's easier to hate than ever before. Like, we can get on our phones and type up a comment in anonymity to anyone's YouTube post, social media post, TikTok, whatever it might be. The amount of hate I get on my Instagram and TikTok just for trying to spread positivity is insane. And it's crazy because I don't know who these people are. They're in complete anonymity, and they can say whatever they want knowing that it gets to me. At the end of the day, it's easier to be a hater in today's generation than ever before. And a lot of times, it's scientifically proven that when these people leave a negative comment, they feel like self-righteous. They feel good about it. They feel good releasing their negativity onto someone else and at the expense of someone else. So they're releasing negativity in an effort to make themselves positive at the expense of someone else. That's a very weak mindset. It's not a very strong mindset. It's a very selfish mindset. But it's the reality of what happens today when you go to these YouTube videos and you see all these celebrities and athletes and these wonderfully successful people getting hated on by some random internet troll. I'm sure you've heard that expression. And it's not me saying to take away the haters or do all this stuff. Hate is a part of life. You have to learn to deal with hate. So it's not just cutting these people out. It's learning how to deal with this kind of stuff. And I'm going to get into that in a bit here. First and foremost, let me say this. It's important to stay in the mindset of humility because not everyone that's speaking negatively about you is necessarily hating. You got to understand that sometimes the people that are quote unquote hating on you are actually saying something that's correct, because there are certain situations where the world and society will give you feedback on a certain type of behavior that you're doing incorrectly, and they want you to correct this behavior. And that actually is a good thing. So let me first say this. Criticism is not hate, right? Criticism is very important. Hate is different from criticism. Criticism is given to you in an effort to genuinely make you a better person, right? If someone is giving you criticism like, hey, you could do this better, they're usually providing some kind of constructive feedback that allows you to improve on whatever actions that you're doing. So maybe you're driving a car and you're going a little too fast. Someone might say, hey, slow down a bit because the speed limit is 65 and you're going 85. You might get a ticket. You want to slow down. That way you know what's going on the road and you're not putting yourself in danger. Or put on a seatbelt, right? Now, someone that's hating is just going to give you something without feedback. But the biggest difference between criticism and hate is the person that it's coming from. Because you got to understand that genuine criticism is coming from a person that loves you. Ask yourself what this person wants from saying this comment. Like, what is the goal here? So your friends and your family are probably the biggest people that you might think are haters, but in reality, they're just giving you a lot of criticism because they want you to become the best version of you. They're trying to improve you to a degree because they can't see you be anything less of who you are. Everyone that's close to me in my life, I'm giving them criticism on a daily basis, because if I see something wrong, I'm going to correct it. I'm going to let them know, hey, you can do this better. I want you to win. I want you to do this better. At the same time, they're giving me that criticism as well. If they see me doing something that isn't my full potential, I hope they come out and say, hey, you should have been working out today at 6 o'clock. You went to the gym at 7:15. You're slacking. You need to be doing better. Hey, you should have eaten that ice cream. Hey, you should have done more work. Hey, you should have sold more deals, whatever it might be. I want them to be on my case, and I want that criticism because criticism is what's going to make me a better person. It's going to help me realize my flaws and improve me to a degree. So not every negative comment that you get from somebody is going to be hate. That being said, when you're successful, a lot of them are going to be hate. A lot of them are not going to be criticism. A lot of them are just going to be straight hate because you're getting this from random people and people that you maybe know. They're not coming from a genuine place of love. They're coming from a place where they envy you. They're jealous. They're insecure. And that hate is pouring out of them. I've never seen anyone that's doing better than an individual hate on them or throw negativity their way, because the truth is they're not threatened by their growth. You got to understand that, like, when someone is hating on you, they're looking up to you and they're just pointing and saying, that guy's lame, that guy's this, that guy's that. When someone is looking down, they don't have time to hate on you. You got to understand, like, professionals and successful people don't have time to hate at all. They're way too busy focusing on their growth and minding their own business, right? So if you're minding your own business, what does that mean? That means that your mindset is in your business, right? Minding your business means that your mindset is in your business. People that are successful mind their own business and put their mindset to their business to cultivate the level of growth that they need for their business, for their life, for their family, for their friends, for their social circle. At the end of the day, someone that's minding somebody else's business or not minding their own business is taking their time out of their day to allocate time, energy, and resources to spew negativity to a certain individual that has no effect on their growth, on their lifestyle, on their family, on their friends, on whatever it might be. If you're trying to grow your business, your relationship, your mindset, or all the above, you need to mind your own business. You can't focus on other people who don't benefit you. When you're doing that, you're effectively stagnating your growth and putting your resources towards theirs. Why would you spend time cultivating negativity to give to another person when you can just focus that energy all on yourself? You can focus that energy, that raw energy, on creating positive growth in your own life. You don't have time minding somebody else's business until yours is where you need it to be. You know, within the first 5 to 10 minutes of a conversation, you can really tell what someone's the most insecure about, because they're going to speak on that subject and they're going to speak negatively about something. When I talk to somebody for the first time and I hear them talking about a situation or someone that they don't like and they speak negatively towards them in a non-constructive way, I try to remove myself from that person. I immediately know that person's a hater. In today's society, a lot of hate is done behind the keyboard. A lot of hate is done behind closed doors. A lot of hate is done on the YouTube comments, social media comments, because people are so scared to face the person itself, because they're not doing anything themselves, but they can comment behind a keyboard and say whatever they want. So the moment I recognize that hate, I try to walk away, because respectfully, you're not going to rub that off on me. At the end of the day, though, hate is going to be there. So how do we deal with hate in a world that's filled with hate today? You have to learn to use haters as your fuel. That shade, that negativity they throw at you should be motivation, and it should cultivate a high level of self-growth. Look, the hate should essentially fuel you. You see, hate is a difficult thing to process and really understand because we're designed to digest love, encouragement, enthusiasm, and all these positive things that help us build our success on our path. But in reality, that's not all you're going to be fed. In life, you have to eat the things that are not necessarily as tasty as you might want it to be in order to cultivate a high level of physical discipline, a high level of health. I eat food on meal preps that isn't the tastiest food out there. I still love my meal preps. I put a little sauce in there, but it's not necessarily that tasty as compared to a steak that's covered in butter and stuff like that, But I have to learn to digest these things that aren't as tasty for me in order to cultivate that higher level of self-growth. In the same way, you need to learn to digest hate instead of encouragement, love, attention, because that is going to come in small amounts while the hate is going to come in large amounts, especially when you're doing something that's really amazing. Look, that hate is a sign that you're doing something worthwhile. When you attract the attention of haters, you have to calmly realize that you're moving in a direction that's beneficial. I've had a lot of hate in my life from friends, from family, from people I don't even know. The truth is, when I first got all that hate, I didn't even know how to digest it. When I was younger in my life, I was always used to pleasing people. I was never in a position to make heavy level business decisions. I was always in a position where I was an employee, and I was always designed to please my boss or please somebody around me as customers, whoever it might be. But when I started becoming an entrepreneur, I started attracting a lot of hate. I started pissing a lot of people off. And it's because I was very cutthroat with my business practices. I was going to be the most successful, and if I had to push somebody out of my way, I was going to do it. Not in a mean way, but in a true business fashion where my product is better, my services are better, my rates are more competitive for whatever I was doing. And I attracted a lot of hate. And I'm going to tell you right now, I always wanted people's approval. Most of us are designed and wired to get people's approval. And it's difficult for us to really process that hate. But you got to learn to do it because people will only like you until you start doing better than them. I'm going to tell you again, I hated the negativity at first. It made me so upset. Why are people like this? Why can't they be happy for me? What's funny is that it's like people that I kind of knew are the ones that hated on me. They're the ones that threw shade on me. Like my close friends were there for me, but the people that I knew in my circle right outside of that, those were the ones that hated on me the most. Like they were the next closest thing that I had, and those are the people that talked the most shit about me. That said, "Oh, he can't do this." But guess what? I'm gonna tell you the process. When I first started my businesses, they said, "Oh, there's no way he can do that. What is he thinking?" Then my business started getting a little bit of traction. Oh, it's beginner's luck. He's not going to last very long. Oh my God, he's getting a little bit of success. Wow. But then when my business became established, they started looking at me for handouts with their hands out. They started looking at me as a successful person that's just greedy and, evil because I don't remember who they were when I first started or whatever it might be. But the reality is, you guys didn't even support me. You guys didn't even come to any of my things. You guys didn't buy any of my products. And then they feel like that I owe them something just because I knew them. The reality of hate is very strange. It's an evolving process depending on your level of growth and elevation away from those individuals. See, when you're getting better, you're separating yourself from people that are not good. You're separating yourself from the herd. When you elevate, you terrify the herd. And that's the process of, where the haters start. Because the herd doesn't like the elevation. The herd doesn't like you being unique. The herd wants you to be just like them, be comfortable like them. When you start accruing a high level of growth in every aspect of life, people are just going to not like it. I'm going to tell you that. Massive success is the number one way you win against your haters. When you put in the energy in your craft and your mission instead of, addressing that hate or retaliating against them, you're going to win. Throw that anger into work. Throw that anger into the process. Grind it out till they can't help but see you everywhere with your success. While they're sleeping, you're waking up early. While they're slacking, you're grinding. When they're complaining and hating, you're innovating and inventing. When they're slouching, you're hitting them reps. While they're partying, you're practicing, getting better. And I'm going to tell you right now, being the better person, being that bigger person is insanely difficult. It requires a massive level of discipline and emotional control. But in order to elevate from one aspect, you must elevate in all. And that's where this whole process comes from. That's what we talk about here at the Thoughtcast. Holistic growth, right? It's a holistic process. Everything is connected. In order for you to get better in your relationship, you got to get better in your business and your career. In order for you to get better in your career, your relationship and your personal life has to be checked at home. So everything is connected. And I want you to know that when people are hating on you, they got their name in your mouth. They got you in your thoughts. They're speaking your name. They're giving your brand, your movement, your organization more attention. It's good for you. Hate is also a good thing. That's what I'm trying to say here. Let them be jealous of your life. Let them hate. Let that fuel build you up. You have to learn in life that you can't live your life around hate. You have to live your life around positivity, peace, power that will eventually progress you through everything that's in your plan. But you must understand that hate is going to exist in large amounts, especially if you're trying to be successful. So you got to learn to use that as fuel. And you got to learn to just be unfazed by it and trust the process that you're in. Just know this, like, when people are hating on you, it usually means that you're doing something right. Haters are your biggest fans. Haters are your motivators. So go out there and get more haters. Much love.